Hey guys, and welcome to the next episode, the second episode in fact, of Fuzzzee's Thoughts. This episode is going to be about the top 15 things which I'm most looking forward to from E3 2012. Now you might notice there's something different in the background of this video, and that is that I have this beautiful chair which I am sat in, which I wasn't sat in before, and you probably won't have seen the old chair I was sat in. I can show you that, in fact I'll do a bit of a comparison in a minute. So this allows me to sit and make videos in a higher comfort threshold. But whatever. Yeah, it's a brilliant chair and it's helping me actually make videos more frequently now. Of course, the one problem which I've encountered was the fact that now I have to find some kind of cheesy, awesome way to enter the frame. So I've had a couple of ideas. There's the, what I guess you could call the wheezy waiter. The kind of slide in. Well, that was a bit too far, but you get the picture. Anyone who's a fan of Wheezy Waiter will understand that. I guess you could also do the kind of spin with added point, maybe? Who knows? Anyway guys, I am going to knuckle down to my list, but first I feel like I should kind of clarify that the items on this list are in no particular order, and I imagine the majority of them were talked about or some kind of information was given about them before E3. This is just games which I know in some capacity have been talked about at E3 and I'm excited about them. And that's about it really. So without further ado, let's make a start on this list. So the first item on my list is Borderlands 2. Now I am a huge fan, as you may know from the previous Fuzzzee's Thoughts video, of the original Borderlands, and this is really looking like it's shaping up to be an amazing sequel. Hopefully a slightly better story than last time. Last time in the original game it was a bit paper thin, some of the AI wasn't brilliant always, but overall from the original game I had so much fun. I've got to say it's one of my favourite new IPs of recent years, and I'm really looking forward to a great sequel. Next on my list, number 2, is Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition. Obviously this edition is a kind of enhanced edition for console, but it's also coming to PC, which is great because it means I might actually be able to play it. I have played sections of it on my friend's PlayStation 3, but honestly it's something I've always wanted to kind of get engrossed into. It's something I feel like I would really enjoy, but I haven't really had the chance. So the idea of it coming to a PC is a very, very, very good thing for me. Unfortunately, there has been some kind of rumours of things like Games for Windows Live being put on it, so I really hope that's not the case. But anyway, I'm hoping to see that coming to PC soon. Next on my list is Dishonored, which is the new stealthy action adventure kind of game being published by Bethesda. I don't know too much about this one, but from what I've seen of the trailers it's shaping up to look really promising. I really like the kind of steampunky vibe it's got going on. So that's definitely up there and things I would probably want to try and take a look at some point in the future. Number 4 on my list of 15 is Dungeon Land, a new game being published by Paradox. Looks to be, I guess you could say, the next Magicka, just a co-op mayhem of a game. It's looking to be really fun from what I've seen of people playing it, mainly Total Biscuit and the Yogscast. But yeah, really what I'm hoping to see from it is basically another kind of success story, hopefully without the kind of usual Paradox issues on launch, but we'll see what happens there. Overall, looks like it's going to be action-packed and definitely fun to play through with a group of friends. Next is a D&D game, Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter, which I literally only just realised when researching for this video that it's actually going to be an MMO. So who knew? I mean, I was hoping for just another kind of great looking, up-to-date 4th edition rule set single player experience. But if it turns out to be a good MMO, I mean, I can't complain. I'm not much of an MMO player in general, but I'm really hoping that it turns out well, because this feels like something I could definitely get behind. Moving on to another D&D based game, Dungeons & Dragons Online is getting an update called Menace of the Underdark, which is kind of adds in quite a few new features, like being able to level up to 25 and becoming an epic level hero, as well as kind of moving it to a more familiar setting in the Forgotten Realms as opposed to Eberron, where the rest of DDO is set. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that it will be promising, and honestly, DDO, as like I said before, I don't really play many MMOs, but of the ones I have played, DDO has certainly been one of my favourites. Now I guess onto something more a little bit silly, you could say. Right. This blew my mind. Right. Lego Lord of the Rings. I'm just going to let that sink in for a few seconds, because that was literally the best thing I have ever heard in so long. Right, I have an undying love for the Lego games. They've got such kind of charm and character which really kind of set them apart from what otherwise could be a fairly terribly licensed product game. And honestly, for a huge Tolkien fan like myself, Lego Lord of the Rings just sounds like the best thing ever, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm sure they will add in a ton of enjoyable kind of quirkiness, as they have done with the previous Lego titles. So, double thumbs up from me! Number 8 is again a series I'm not too familiar on, but all the same I've heard a lot of good things about. MechWarrior Online sounds amazing. It's MechWarrior, but online, so you can shoot people in your big massive robot, and it will be incredibly satisfying. I'll probably give that a try at some point, because that is, from what I've seen of gameplay trailers and such, is looking to be pretty damn awesome. Number 9 is PlanetSide 2. Now, I've been watching a lot of Total Biscuit's coverage of this game. It's looking to be absolutely mind-blowing. The persistent element is a thing which really kind of grabs the thing for me. That just looks like great, just being able to leave a battle, coming in later on, tomorrow, whatever, and the same battle's still going on, but some kind of territory may have changed hands to different factions. I love the look of that game so much, and I never played the original PlanetSide, so hopefully that's going to be something I can really get behind. Number 10 is honestly a bit of an iffy one for me, because it's The Elder Scrolls Online. Now, I've become fairly disillusioned with the Elder Scrolls series, mainly because I really didn't like Skyrim. I only played about 10 hours of that game compared to the 300, 400 plus hours I put into Oblivion, so I really want something which can kind of renew my love for the series, because honestly at the moment Elder Scrolls has been kind of a disappointment for me, and I really want this game to kind of change that for me, because I am a huge Elder Scrolls fan. I loved Morrowind, I loved Oblivion, but Skyrim really didn't do it for me. So maybe the Elder Scrolls Online can do that. Number 11 is Tomb Raider, the new prequel game, which I didn't realise was a prequel. So when I first saw the kind of footage of the game's cutscenes and various things, I felt pretty confused, I suppose, because I had a kind of worry that it was going to end up being like Metroid Other M, where they gave Samus a voice and she basically became completely pathetic. And it seems like in the trailers, at least, that Lara is kind of going that same direction. And I was really worried for a time, until I realised, of course, that it's a prequel. So I'm hoping this is actually going to end up being really great, kind of give you an idea of how she became the kind of badass female icon which she is today. I mean, I've got really high hopes of this one being a good one if you're into the kind of story of Tomb Raider. Number 12, War of the Roses. Now, as a Mount & Blade fan, this, again, when I first saw this, it blew my mind. 64 player, I think, maybe? Like, team-based Mount & Blade multiplayer, but better. Yes, more of this, please. Why does this not already exist? Why am I not already playing it? Please, come to me, oh beautiful game, because you shall be greatly appreciated here on my computer. Thank you. Number 13, not unlucky for this one at least, is Watch Dogs, which got a lot of people talking. It looks like it's going to be a very nice looking new intellectual property there for Ubisoft. Now, I did think it kind of looked a bit it had that feel of Assassin's Creed at first, and I guess it makes sense because obviously it's developed by Ubisoft Montreal, which are the same guys who worked on the Assassin's Creed series. So the kind of hacking element and all that kind of stuff, and it being like a kind of information warfare kind of setting, is really, really interesting to me, and I think this is going to shape up to be a really good one, because I cannot wait for a game like this. It looks amazing. My only worry is that it might come a little bit repetitive after a while, so hopefully there's enough kind of in the game and enough different ways to kind of approach your objectives so that that isn't the case. The penultimate item on my list is the Wii U. Okay, so I cheated here. Yes, it's not a game, but I think I said earlier that it was just a top 15 list of things, so balls to it. The thing is, the reason why I'm saying the Wii U as opposed to any particular titles which have been announced and will be launch titles or just titles for the Wii U in the future, is that honestly I've not really been interested in any of the titles which have been mentioned so far, but rather just the console itself. I feel like it's going to be one of those things which kind of grows in the telling, and as developers become more adept in using its kind of unique controls and stuff, that it might kind of evolve into have some really, really top-class games. As well as an avid PC gamer, I've been a Nintendo fan for pretty much all my life, and the reason is because they have the kind of innovation, as opposed to just kind of bringing it up to the next generation of graphics, which I'm glad they've done, obviously, because it means more developers will take an interest in publishing games on the platform. But the fact that they always try and do something a bit different, a bit off the wall. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't always work, but you've got to respect them for their kind of ingenuity there, and that's why I'm looking forward to the Wii U. Last but certainly not least is XCOM Enemy Unknown. Now the XCOM series I know has a very devoted fan base, people look upon it very fondly, and honestly it's something which I feel like I've kind of missed out on because I've never actually played an XCOM game, so I'm hoping this is going to be kind of a good starting point for a newcomer like myself to kind of jump into the series and enjoy myself thoroughly, because I am a huge fan of strategy games, so I'm hoping this is going to be something which I'm going to really enjoy. And that's it, that's all that is on my list. As I said before, this isn't ranked in any particular order. Some of these obviously I know more about than others, some I'm looking forward to more than others, but I'm not going to bother to rank them because honestly I don't really see the point. This has just been a kind of splurge of what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. It looks like it's... Yeah. I just got an email.